Salutations. Well, I'm taking over the Hayden's role right now with greetings tonight. My name first and foremost is Mathew. We have to my left Minister Amon. Yeah. To my right we have Brianna Webster, and then we have Cadian.
KD.
I feel like you like not
introduce yourself.
Good, KD.
All right, KD. All right. It's like I thought you don't want to give the full government. I respect that.
KD.
And then we have. I'm gonna screw up your position a little bit past. No.
Did you just say that?
Apostle, Lenville. Nelson, I can't screw up the last part, but like the first part is like it happens. But
all right, before we even go any further, let's just say happy birthday to Mathew. Tonight is his birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, Mathew! Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm at an age where I feel like I don't need to tell people. But here's the thing, right? This is just a conversation, and
yes, sir.
we're just gonna dive in it. Tonight's topic is very memorable. It's these two young individuals right here. They're a prime example of this topic.
For sure.
Isn't it?
For sure.
The confidence.
Confidence.
To say, you know what, I'm not gonna give up.
Definitely.
To say, even though others around me said quit, I'm gonna still push forward.
That's it.
I'm gonna get my degree. I'm even going even further to you guys going from to excel. It's like
higher education.
For higher education. It's like you should get the topic by now. If you don't, it's confidence. It's like that's pretty much the topic tonight. Is confidence. And what was your driving force like? Say, I'm just get right into it. And y'all want to tackle it? It's like, what's your driving force that says, like, all right, I'm gonna still keep on going, even when?
Well, how my mindset is, it's like, I know that you gotta fail, and I use like all the failures I do, I use that, but I just know that I have to, like, I feel like I need to be successful. I just really want to be successful, and that drive, like every time I fail, I'll be like, all right, what can I do to make it better so I can keep going, so keep developing. And then, like, even when I fail, I still look at it as, like, I didn't really fail. I just know that next time I don't got to do this. I got to do it this way.
Learn from your lesson.
Yeah.
It's just a lesson. Respect.
I think everybody has confidence. And some, they're very poor in that, and there's a lack of confidence. And it depends on what makes you. Because there's some people who suffer from poor self-esteem. Definitely. They don't think much of themselves, and maybe because of what their parents used to say about them. Oh, you'll never come out to nothing. They buy into that lie, or maybe how society treated them, and all of that. But we have to learn how to rise above that, and to say, hey, it doesn't matter what is happening around me. It doesn't matter what communities. It doesn't matter how poor I may be. I know that we can do this. Right. But what about people who are suffering from low self-esteem? You see, how does one cope with that, Doc?
I mean, I believe it's a fight or flight mentality, and I feel that once you get backed into a corner, you're either just gonna crumble up and die and fade away, or you're gonna raise up out of it and scratch and claw your way out. And I think that even if you do have low self-esteem, or if you have confidence, it's a tell of what you're gonna do to get out. Some
get buried.
Some get buried, and it's just the law of averages. Like Kadavian said, if you fail so many times, the law of averages are saying you have a higher percentage of passing the more times you fail. So it's a law of averages. You just got to not give up. You just have to keep going. You just have to refuse to bow your head.
That's the mindset.
That's it.
Brianna, how are you? Welcome. You're the only female here among all the men.
You just have to be persistent and like.
Definitely.
What
Oh, by the way, she just graduated
Yes.
with
from
her
with my AA.
with her AA from where?
Oh,
Broward
wow.
College
Broward
That
College.
In
was
what?
fast.
in business administration.
Business administration,
Yes.
you know, or Associates of Arts degree.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And she'll be
you're
going on to
FAU.
FAU. All
For
right.
business management.
Business management. I'm
And
telling
Katie,
you.
what you going on to BC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
going for mechanical engineering.
All right.
You know what? We blessed out
Talented
here.
young people, right?
Exactly.
There we go. Okay, Brianna, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I was saying you have to be persistent, and you know what I do. I usually have a goal to reach, and I don't give up on that goal easily. Once I set a goal, I try to be persistent. You know, many times you might have your days where like you feel like giving up, you don't feel like going on, but you just have to remind yourself that you have a goal to reach, and just remind yourself of why you're doing it, and just try to achieve that goal.
And just to get that right, because goals are really step to get to your objective.
Right.
So you have an objective where you want to reach, what you want to achieve, mechanical engineering, business administration, or whatever it is that you're doing. That's your ultimate objective, but they're goals. And every day we all have to set goals.
Right.
You know, today this is what I want to accomplish.
Right.
This is where I want to reach. Now, if I can get my AA, then I can get my BA, then I'm going to get my master's, then I'm going to get my PhD.
Right.
So you set those goals. Okay, this is what I want to do in this year. This is what I want to do in next year. So you have to do that, and you have to be persistent.
Right.
Now, in the journey of life, there are going to be obstacles that you have to face.
Right.
You know, because some people, well, I don't drive, I can't go to school. Well, I need a side job and I'm not getting it, so I can't do whatever I have to do.
Right.
But if you have that confidence
And
in
that
yourself,
mindset.
yeah, you're right. You gotta have the mindset. Know who you are.
Yes.
Know what you want to do. You know, and go for it.
Right.
Because others will tell you, no, you can't. What if people tell you, no, you can't do it?
Right.
Yeah.
What do? Believe it and buy into their lies?
Ah.
You know?
The goals also drive that confidence though. Like when you set that goal and you really like you really going for it, that's gonna drive your confidence a lot. Cause you're gonna like, when you think you can't do it, all you just gonna think in your head, I know I can do it. Cause I said I'm gonna do it. And when you think like that, your confidence, that really raises your confidence.
Do you find that a lot of people have that level of confidence?
Nah, a lot of people don't. And that's the thing. To get to that level of confidence, you really gotta you gotta feel that you really wanna do that. And some people get probably feel degraded by people, like they get picked on by certain goals. Some people be like the kids that wanna be like, I wanna be an NFL star, NBA star. You know, some people be like, you'll never make it. That could drive them and have them keep going up, keep practicing, getting better, or that could just make them feel like I don't even want to do this no more.
Definitely.
Nobody's gonna believe me.
So that's the difference? What do you think sets the difference in your eyes?
I mean, probably part of it is how you grew up, like where you grew up, what you grew up around, how the people are where you grew up.
There you go.
You know, people who are just like, all right, I'm okay with how everything is. Everything's okay. You know, and the other people is like, I know I can do better. You know what I mean? Like that. I feel like that plays a role.
How do
in that.
you think your parents have a strong example? That's my son. That's my son. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I'm proud of him too.
Wow.
But do you think your parents set an example for your confidence level or your
And not
self-esteem?
because he's your father right
Yeah,
now.
no. I'm saying this in general.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I'm saying this in general, not
Right.
like personal experience, of course, yeah, but like in general, I feel like parents set a very big
They set the
example.
benchmark,
Like
yes.
yeah, it's there. Cause growing up, the parents probably don't even notice it, or they probably do. But the kids really look up to the parents. Like they see everything they do, they remember what they do.
That's true.
Like even like old things, the parent probably wouldn't even.
Good or bad.
The parent probably even would have remembered, and the kid would be like, "You remember that time when this happened?" Yeah, the kids got that mindset. They look up to them like they look up to their parents like they're superheroes.
Right.
Like they see it as in like, all right, they doing this. If they like what they're seeing, I want to do this when I grow up. I want to be like this.
Yeah.
They look at it like that way.
Whether it's wrong or right.
Yeah.
What's the name of that guy, Golden State guy?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
His brother also plays basketball.
Yeah, Seth
but I
Curry.
also noticed that Seth,
Yeah,
right? So I also noticed that his father,
Dale Curry.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He played for Los Angeles.
Yeah, he is good too.
Yeah,
So he set the example
Yeah.
for them to follow. And I
Definitely.
think that's where the confidence grow, where these two guys are doing so pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're right. Parenting has a lot to do with the child's upbringing and the way how they function and operate. You know, children who grow up in a well-balanced home with both parents and active parents, who are involved in a lot of stuff, you find that these children, they're more confident. They're more sure of themselves. But when there's one parent, sometimes absent, in foster homes, you name it,
Yeah.
they become unsure of themselves and they lack that kind of confidence to push through. Only the very few, I don't know the statistics right now, but I believe only a few really burst through the soil and grow and flourish.
Yeah, yeah. I think there has to be a balance. Like even like referring back to scripture, you always have like if there was a fatherless person, there had to be, an example of that father to come and mentor that son. Or if there was a widowless, a husbandless wife, there would be that husband figure, that foundation figure to come in and balance that out. And I think if there is not that equal balance, it has to come. It might not come from a biological, but it might come from a role or a mentor, a role model or a mentor that can come and facilitate that need. But I think as soon as that balance gets established, then everything starts to flow like it's supposed to. So I think that balance is a big thing. Like LeBron James, I don't think his father was around in his growing up in his youth, but I'm pretty sure that people like caught on to the dream and the vision and said, I'm gonna help you and assist you
To motivate him.
in achieving that. Yeah. He has like big like financial advisors, or he has big like Wayne Buffett, I think, is one of his guys that
You know
talks to
Warren
him.
Buffett?
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett,
And
yeah.
he's like a big financial mogul, and he gives the man advice, and you can't pay for that man's advice.
Yeah.
It's priceless.
And sometimes teachers break you too.
Oh yeah, definitely, big time.
Because I remember a teacher broke me, my spirit. I mean, music. I was doing music in school.
It's
you
true.
know?
It's so true.
And she messes me up, and when I see music, I see her, and I was like, I'm
Oh,
done
wow.
with you,
Wow.
you know, because she was a proud woman, and you could sense that, and the way how she taught. I'm telling you, kids look and they see everything. They don't forget nothing.
True. That's true.
You know, never forget her.
You're right.
You gotta let it go, Pastor. You gotta let it go.
What was it that you were playing? What was it that you were playing?
Keyboards, well, piano at the time.
Piano, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, piano at the time. And I think I was doing pretty well, but I just put a block against it, and it's like,
So every time you go on the keyboard
it's
or
Mrs.
piano,
Smith.
you see her face.
You remember her name? Oh wow.
Man, I'm done with this, you know.
Yeah.
This one is terrible. But that's how it is. But these things can break you,
It's true.
you know. I mean, I would be playing so well today.
You never know.
And she probably doesn't even think about it.
Think about
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing.
She
People
probably
hurt you,
doesn't.
you don't even know that they hurt you.
Yeah,
facts.
You know?
I know I hurt people, and it's like, yeah, that's part of life. But it's, I apologize for those. It is. It's unintentional, but it's a part of life.
But it can break a person.
I never said it couldn't. I just said it's a part of life
Oh.
because it's not. It works both ways. People's broke me.
But
Where it's
people who
like,
hurt people,
but here's the thing. It's like
those
you
hurt
don't.
people will hurt. Yeah,
But
hurt
here's the
people hurt
thing:
people,
it's
right?
not. You don't have to be. You don't. You might be coming from a good intentions, but the way that person perceive it as hurtful.
They took
So
it
that's what
wrong
I'm
way.
saying. It's a part of life. You will hurt somebody unintentionally or intentionally.
So let me ask you this: what would trying to succeed to prove somebody wrong? Would that be a bad thing?
Nah, you just hard headed. That's all. You hard headed by your goals. It's like, yeah, you gotta be hard headed by your goals. If that, because I remember one time my mom even said it where her father was like, oh, I give you by a few weeks or a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, okay. And they've been together for 30 plus years. So it's like, if you're really about what you want, you gotta be extremely confident to the point where it's like, it's kind of suspect, but it's like where you getting that confidence from. But at the same time, you gotta be kind of stiff-headed. Like, regardless of how rough it gets, I'm still gonna keep on going. That's why I feel like most of most successful people, they're extreme. It's hard for them to like compromise,
Okay.
and I hope y'all like that, but not too much.
Successful people, it's hard for them to compromise.
But of course, it's like
I
when
get
they've reached.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I get what he's saying. He's saying like, cause successive people, they already got the mindset. They confident in themselves. Obviously, they made it like that. But like, that's like somebody doing something for so long. It's like, and then you find a better way, and your way probably really could be better. But their mindset is not gonna think of it like that. They're gonna think,
it.
I've been making money like this for this long.
Yeah.
I've been doing it this way, and this way worked every
That's so
time.
true.
So
That's so
why do I need to listen to you?
Yeah.
Even if your
exactly.
way was better, like
Yeah.
that mindset is gonna be hard to change.
If it's
that.
not broke, don't
But what
fix it
about people who are
mentality.
so overly confident?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in the end, they fail.
There's
Well,
evidence of failure,
yeah.
right? Yeah, in a way.
Because here, somebody's bringing something better to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we all have to make ourselves open for change.
Right.
That's-
That's why.
Open-minded,
That's
yeah.
why I'm saying just don't be too overconfident, because like it's still good to be confident, because it's like you're not gonna let anybody. Like for instance, most artists is like nowadays compared to before, and a lot of those older artists nowadays they are more confident now. But it's like back in the day they used to let these companies tell them how they're supposed to do their how they're supposed to present themselves to the mass media. Nowadays, a lot of artists is like, no, I'm gonna do it independently, or at least if you're gonna work with me. I'm not gonna work for you. So it's like they're not compromising their goal, but they're willing to open up doors where they could prosper. Is like at least hear your ideas, see how they could grow better. The best example of an artist that I've seen who pretty much did that is this young guy named Lil Yachty. No, is that his name?
Yeah, Lil Yachty.
Yeah, it's like he did the Target commercial and stuff like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like yes, he did music, but he's he has so many different things that he's doing. Is like yes, I'm willing to do this to grow as an artist, but I still want to be. I'm a businessman at the end of the day, so I'm still willing to listen, and so I could grow. So that's pretty much what that I want to try grasp after. Is like this. I just want to grow. So it's like if it means that you're helping, if I see that you're helping, because it's like I'm not going to accept what you said unless I see growth, see action taking place. So it's like, and I feel like a lot of people nowadays, especially youth who are actually going to college and stuff like that, that's what they're striving for. Is like, or those who are dropping out to pursue their dream, things that they find more interesting.
I just think like according to what you're saying, what I perceive what you're saying is in this generation that we are living in today, there's more than one avenue to be successful.
Exactly.
You don't just have to. I'm not saying school is bad. Believe me, school is beautiful to get an education. But my point being is there's so many different avenues. You could go to trade school. You could become an entrepreneur.
Right.
You can use the internet to become successful and do something like Amazon. And there's so much different avenues now to where you don't have to just be a slave to any system, whether it's somebody wants to, use you to peddle their product or, think that they can work for you better than you can work for yourself. Now you have people that they advertise, they brand, they do everything themselves. Like Kevin Hart, he does everything himself right now. And he could tell people like, I don't need to do the Grammys. Like you guys need me.
Right.
Like when you get to a point like that, and to me, it's not only confidence, but it's also leveraging too. You have to learn how to leverage a lot of things nowadays. You get what I'm
Facts.
saying? So that you won't sell yourself short, because people will take from you all day.
Also known as self-worth as well.
Of course, because if he didn't know his self-worth, people would take from him all day and leave him with nothing at the end of the day.
That's like
That's
the
what-
saying. What it is again? Don't take what they hand you. Take what they owe you.
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
What was I hold to you? Don't just take no hand-me-downs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't take no handouts,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Take what you deserve.
You can't sell yourself short.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people sometimes they're so desperate to get out, they sometimes sign the wrong contract,
Exactly.
and then they make themselves a slave for life, and they're not gonna get anything but like pennies. According to like the deal is always in favor of the person that's handing you the contract. But I think like we have to hold out sometimes,
Yeah.
and we have to let that contract benefit us too. Yeah,
You got to have confidence in yourself. Know who you are.
yeah.
You know what your worth is. Because if you don't, people are going to use you.
Oh, definitely.
You know? And this is where we find people become followers instead of leaders.
Yes, sir.
You know? Because they really don't have no confidence in themselves. They need somebody else to guide them.
Just go with
They-
the crowd.
Yeah, you go with the crowd. And it shouldn't be like that. You know? But because you feel like you're not adequate enough, and again, it goes back to what was told to you when you were younger, you know, and maybe, you know, how you grew up and, you know, the kind of home that you grew up in. And therefore, you become a follower. And you follow the crowd and you end up in the wrong places, you know. But as young people, we need to, it starts with us. We need to start developing, you know, super confidence.
The thing is, I heard a lot about this nurture versus nature thing, where it's either, I don't really think it's based off how you're raised or the location where you are sometimes, because there's always that there's a lot of
Nurture
evidence-
versus what?
nature is where it's pretty much talking about it's based off where you grew up or who your family is. But for me, I feel like it's just your mentality, because at the end of the day, I've seen there've been cases where these people like these serial killers, I had wonderful parents. They taught me what the right thing, but I just chose to do this.
Right.
So it's like, and then there's other cases where it's they've been in some rough positions. Is like reason why, and they're like and now they're extremely successful, and they chose not to do the things that their parents and family members did.
Can I just talk about David a little bit?
Go ahead.
You know David,
Mm-hmm.
right? He grew up as an underdog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was ostracized.
Mm-hmm.
He was sent on the backside of the wilderness to take care of sheep,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And he was sent in some really dangerous area because they wanted him dead.
Mm-hmm.
He was, some would think he was an illegitimate guy, bastard, and all of that. But David had confidence in himself. He knew who he was, you know. The bear came, the lion came, and he conquered them. And as I was saying on Sunday, that the lion had to do with your mind, how you can control the power of your mind. The lion is a nocturnal creature, but it can also hunt in the day. But it's at night when your mind is all, when everything is lonely and quiet and you feel all that pressure coming on you, and you wonder, what am I doing here? No wonder asks the question, what is man that thou art mindful of him? And the Son of Man that thou visitest him. What is man? You know? But then he talks about his help comes from the Lord and all that kind of good stuff.
Definitely.
All right. There came a day when there was a battle going on. And his daddy said, go down, go take some breakfast for your brothers, right? And see how the battle is going on. He went down there at the same time. Goliath was up there shouting, send me a man. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And David is saying, hey, who is that guy? Now, all of a sudden, you're seeing a 17-year-old guy saying, who is that guy? And you have all these men who are battle-hardened.
Yeah.
You know, they're cowering and are afraid.
That's it.
Now, what made David so confident and caused the other guys to be hiding? What was it? That caused Saul to be sitting in his tent shaking.
Somebody says naivety, but all right.
Naivety?
Yeah, in the sense that he.
A lion came against you, you called
But
me naive?
here's the thing. What I mean by
A
that
bear
is,
came against me, you call me naive?
I'm talking about, all right, yes, there's the situation where he dealt with things head on, like it's 1 versus 1. But this is a situation where you also dealing, whenever you're doing military, it's more like, it's not just fighting the thing, but also dealing with the stress of other people. So it's like, that's why I'm
But
saying.
I brought it up because you talk about nurture versus nature. There was nobody to nurture him. There was nobody to really
No.
take care of him that kind of way and to pump something in.
This was just there.
Yes,
Right.
nature taught him all this.
Right.
He says, when I consider the heavens, the moon and the star. You see what I'm saying? So he's out there. The Lord is my shepherd. So he talk about all these kind of stuff. The nature taught him, hey, you better grow up fast.
That's it.
Because if not, you're going to be eaten. You know? And some people, you nurture them, but yet still they lack a whole lot.
Well, because I believe sometimes what we do, we coddle people. Sometimes, like if there's a baby walking and we're running behind the baby and we're
Right.
trying to coddle the
Don't
baby,
fall off, right.
yeah, the
Yeah.
baby never gonna learn how to walk on their own. So that's why I think last week or 2 weeks ago I was telling Minister Hayden, I say sometimes it's good to be on your own. Sometimes it's good to just, don't depend on anybody.
That's right.
Because then you have a mentality where I don't need anybody, and I'm going to make it. And even if I'm with somebody and I make it, they can't get the credit. I could give the credit to God first and foremost, and then I have the confidence to know that, I'm good. A lot of what you said, like being confident and naive, there's a thin line with how people look at you.
Right.
People look at you, oh, he's naive, he doesn't know what he's getting into.
Right.
And then people could look at you when everything turns out at the end of the day, like he was confident, he knew what he was doing. But David was by himself, and he was developing his confidence. And he knew, just like you said, it wasn't naive because he defeated the bear. He was battle tested already.
Oh, yeah.
Even though nobody seen him, because he was on the backside, but he had already been through his test. And when he seen this giant, this mountain standing before him, he knew he could overtake it because he had done it multiple times.
Gives a lot of people confidence because they have been battle tested.
That's it.
I've done this. I've been there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They're done that.
I grew up very fast because why? I boarded out when I was going high school. At the age of 12, I was already on my own, basically.
Wow.
Taking care of myself, learning how to wash, do everything, reason, think fast. So I had to think very fast.
Definitely.
Right? So by the age of 12, I was already out there. So by the time I touched 19, I was managing a place. I was out there doing stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Sometimes it's good for you to go there and be tested.
Yeah, it is.
Because as long as you are being nurtured and as long as somebody's always there taking care of you, you lack that kind of
Right.
zest that is necessary.
That's true.
So that's how I see.
Yeah. And at the moment you don't have someone, then you just cower.
There you go.
Like you don't have anyone to support you.
Right. It's like you always have somebody in the house.
Right.
Yeah.
You feel good, but the minute you're alone is in the house, all of a sudden the walls start talking to you.
Oh, yeah.
The house just get crazy,
Yeah.
right? And you think about it. If you've been sleeping with somebody for all these years, and then all of a sudden the person is not there, how do you feel?
Sure.
You don't feel ready. Like you don't even want to sleep in the same bed.
No.
You're downstairs sitting on the couch, by yourself and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So it's the same thing. Sometimes it's good to just go out there and be tested. Being nurtured is not always good. I jump in somebody.
Yeah, but what's it called? Bringing it back to like how you build confidence.
You right?
People around you help a lot. Like, I'm not just family. I'm talking about like friends, just random people that see you and
But
be like,
positive ones, right?
yeah, like even the negative ones.
Even the negative.
You need negative ones around you
even
too?
the negative
Yeah.
ones.
Okay.
Love the negative ones. That's what really brings
You love
confidence up. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
You love the negative
Yeah,
ones?
because when I hear somebody say you can't do it, I'm looking at you and I'm
Motivation.
laughing.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I know I'm gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you got to be like that. Like that's really the mindset. I keep saying it.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, people around you is big confidence. The people that support you, the people that's always there. Like, yeah, I know you could do it. You know you could do it. You got to believe in yourself. The people that tell you that, that's gonna help you. And the people that say you really can't do it, I don't even know why you're trying.
I've watched American Idol many times over the years. I don't remember how many series they've gone.
It's a lot.
And I've seen people go up there and, you have real good singers, right? And then I've seen some gone up there and it's like,
Terrible.
terrible.
No, they go with such a
And I
bravado.
wanted to, they go up there with such, like, I can do it. And man, you said, who tell you that you could sing? Oh, everybody tell you, you got a great voice.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just piggybacking on what you said about people. you have to have that. These people believe in themselves. Once they hear that, oh, I can sing, they believe it.
But it's a balance
You know?
because some people could sing like that, but don't have that confidence level. Some people could
There we
sing
go,
real
that's the
good,
flip side,
yeah,
right?
but they're shy and they don't have the confidence
They
level to
actually
go
need
out
someone
there.
to push them.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's what the show actually does. It trains them to, when they're not really superstar ready,
Right.
it trains them how to dress, how to sing, how to dance, how to develop into
Control
that
stage,
Yeah,
yes.
and I mean the ones with no talent, you can't help them. But
I've heard some terrible, some croaking. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Croaky.
who tell you? Everybody said, oh, you got a great voice. So people can tell you can do things, but you have to know within yourself whether you
Yeah.
can do yes or no.
Right.
yeah, that's it. And
You know?
I think potential is a big part because you could see somebody that's really not doing anything. You can see they're real quiet, but you can see that they have potential to be something and do
Right.
something. And you could actually get into that person and unlock that potential in them and then give them confidence to use that potential to do something great. And I think that's what we're missing, a lot of those mentors and stuff like that, especially nowadays. Because you got these kids, I mean, they're talented.
Right.
They have so much talent, whether they rap or whether they speak or whether they think, they have so much talent, but they using it because nobody is harnessing that. And they're doing wrong things. They're doing crimes. I mean, they're hustling. And you could tell if they would hustle in a positive way, they would be superstars. Like a lot of these drug dealers. I mean, look at Jay-Z. He's a businessman. I mean, this when he started off, drug dealer. His same mentality, he just took it and he cleaned it up. And now he's doing it. He's making so much money in these businesses with the same mentality he had when he was in the streets. But now he's doing it legit and clean. And I think that's what we have to start redirecting the energy and redirecting these people's potential, to do something positive,
Right.
not only for their life but for the community. Because I don't believe that we're just made for our family and friends. I think we're made for something bigger, like the city, the community, the nation. I think all of us have the potential to reach out there and do something, but a lot of us fall short and we trap ourselves in a box and we stay at family. We stay at the very small minimum things. We don't want to push ourselves or stretch out to do anything bigger. You know what I'm saying? I do it too, so I know. I know a lot of people do it.
Because the stretching is not always easy for
It's
them.
not.
Right.
It's not.
When you have to expand and this is it, for an athlete, let's even talk about, what's his name, Bolt, Lightning Bolt.
You saying?
Yeah, Usain Bolt. You know?
You said his name was that?
Usain Bolt, Lightning
Oh,
Bolt.
yeah. like-
He
know him
didn't
as
just
like-
get there just that right? It took a lot of work.
Of course.
And there are times when you feel like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
But then again, he has to believe in himself. And somebody say, listen, you can do this. It's good when you have people around you who says, listen, man, you can do
Yeah,
this.
it's good to have people that can
They have to
encourage
say
you.
long and hard enough until you
Yeah.
start to believe it.
Right.
Yeah. You're
You know?
always gonna want to quit.
Oh, yeah. Always going to want to quit.
Yeah.
Starting this ministry wasn't easy.
No, I believe
You
it,
know?
yeah.
It's a lot of stretching. It's a lot of hurt and pain.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you have to push forward beyond everything else. And have confidence in your God and yourself to say, hey, we can do this.
Right.
And take the word that said, Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens us.
So what boosts your confidence as you go on, as you progress, as you get
When
to
I
a
start
level?
seeing growth, when I see people who, God just transform and change their lives, I'm like, that encourages me.
And it pushes you to go
It
further.
pushes me to more. Oh, yes. Yes, some will fall out, some will fail, but, you don't look at all that. You look at the success rate. At least there are others who are moving forward, My thing is to always go back, though, for those who, fell out along the way and to try to bring them, to get them back. It hurts, but that's what it is. That's the price of the journey,
Definitely.
It have its ups and downs.
Right.
And so in everything in life, we'll have some things that doesn't work out and some things that will work. But what? You don't stop. As you say, we don't stop. We push. I like that. When somebody tell you that you can't, say like what Obama says, yes, we can.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can do this. You remember that story about the little train that was going
I
over
think
the
I
hill?
can, I think I
Oh,
can.
yes. Yeah, that's something.
I think his name was Hamilton.
Well, whatever it was, but he says, listen, I can. I know I can.
he have a name?
Hey, don't
It was
follow me.
the
I'm
little
saying.
engine. His name was the little engine.
little
The little engine that could.
That's what I said. Don't follow. I said I don't know. their
Sabrina,
names.
how do you deal with issues when people tell you that, hey, you can't?
Who's Sabrina?
No, he said Brianna.
Brianna.
Oh,
That's me.
I
He
felt
said
like
so Brianna.
I heard Sabrina, so it's like I don't remember seeing that person. But all right.
Well, there's
She's sitting right there.
yes, I'm right here.
Okay.
So, well, I remember a moment in my life where I was gearing up for some major exams, and there was a person in my life at the time that they didn't have the confidence in me. They would make certain comments. They're like, you're never gonna do well, or they would tell me that I'm gonna have to do over those exams again, and I'm like, really? But then I would have to just remind myself that I can do it, because I knew within myself that I could do it, and I would have like my friends that would remind me that, Brenna, you're a smart girl, you can do this. I'd have my parents to encourage me that, you can do this, and then you just have to constantly push yourself, because there are going to be times when you don't have anybody to encourage you. You have to encourage yourself.
Have you ever felt like that person was telling you that so you could do better?
No, well, the
Never thought of it like that?
no, I knew within myself that person was very discouraging towards me, but it wasn't like they were trying to just say that to me to encourage me. They actually wanted to discourage me.
Were they one of your friends?
No, it was like it was my guardian at the time. I was living with
Oh,
the
all right.
person. Yes. So I just had to push myself and just kind of remind myself, because as I said, like there will be times when you don't have anybody to tell you that you can do this, but you just have to remind yourself that you actually can do it. And then at the end of the day, when I did my exams, got my good grades, then the same person was like, "Oh yeah, you did good." I was like, "Yeah, no, I could do it."
But I think that's scriptural too, because like you know the verse, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. So it's like you take that energy, that negative energy, and you turn it into something positive to make you and encourage you to do better.
Right.
So in that case, did you avoid that person, or did you?
Well, I tried to, but what I'm bearing in mind, I was like, I cannot prove this person right by not doing good in my.
So that's motivation.
That was my motivation.
You see, like
So,
that's
yeah,
what that's
so
what kind
the
of
negative,
that's my
the negative come
That's
positive,
what
right?
I made up my mind that
Yeah.
I can't prove this person right. Then
No.
they're gonna be like, yeah, see, I told you, Brandon couldn't do
But
it.
like even with me, sometimes like with my friends and the people I know, I'll be like, you can't do that. But I'll say that just so they be like, you
Oh,
think
yeah.
I really can't do that?
Motivate 'em.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
think
That's
I really
it.
can't
That's
do
it.
that?
That's it.
All
But
right,
some
I'm
people
gonna show
don't
you.
see that.
Yeah,
though.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
Yeah, that's the
true.
thing. Not everybody sees that, and you're trying to really, push them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I like to use psychology of people,
Yeah,
psychology.
yeah.
And I say,
In other words, you love instigating. So it's like you love instigating. So
It's getting the potential out of a person.
well, for me, when I was younger, I was a person. I wouldn't say I'm gullible. It's more I'm very. What you tell me, is I was like,
What
oh,
you
so you see.
expect?
No, it's like I like you when you tell me the truth. I don't like you twisting your words. So it's like everything you have to, especially when I was younger, I want you to be direct. So if you see something wrong in me, I'm like, all right. So it did bother me.
You
It
take
got
that
to
to
me.
heart?
I took it to heart because it's like I was like, oh, so was there something about me that I didn't notice that was wrong? And it's like, and the worst part about it, I'm the type of guy who starts
Contemplating on
overthinking,
it?
contemplating,
Yeah.
and then it's like before I'm like, oh, this person just
It's just playing.
playing. It's like now I understand, but it's like back then it's like
you're
it's
not
more
really
like.
playing.
It's like nah, so I'm like
Saying
I'm
that
trying to
you're
figure
not
out like what's wrong about me. How can I? I'm like okay, so you really think about this way about me? I'm like all right,
Thinking too hard.
Thinking too
and then it's like
hard.
I
Yeah.
think too hard into it.
so
It's
did you
like,
lack confidence then? Or were you confident in yourself to think that you could?
no, I had self-esteem issues, so that's why it bothered me.
Kind of doubt.
Yeah.
It's like even though I know, it's like because you said that question. The
You
question.
question
I'm not
yourself.
saying you did, but I'm just saying it's like in general. It's like for folks who did say it, like for instance, teachers, because back then I also had some health issues, and it's like for that it kind of what people said it kind of like me question like and it's like I never opened up about it, so it's like
Even when you knew it
Yeah.
was true, you'll still think.
no,
like,
I knew it was a lie, but it's like
You think
it still.
yeah.
Still bothers me. So it's like it took me a while to get over it and like realize like what they said does not matter. It's like now I've reached a point where it's like yeah, you might say some negative things about me, but and it still does bother me, but I'm like okay, that's your opinion.
So you
That's
gotta-
what I'm saying. When I was young, right, my mother told me, She was like, if somebody says something about me, and like, you know, back in the days, if somebody said, yo, mama, it was supposed to be a fight.
Facts.
But my mom would tell me, if anybody says anything about me and you get into a fight over that, she said, when you come home, I'm gonna beat you. And I said, what you, mom? I'm defending you.
Nah.
And she was like, they don't know me. She said, so you just messing yourself up because of something that somebody said.
Right.
And it was hard to swallow. It was a hard pill to swallow. But then that's when I started realizing that who cares what people say if they don't know you?
Exactly.
So that's why it didn't matter what people said to me. I always grew up, and I used that as a chip on my shoulder. I thought that I was small, you know. I thought that people always see me as an underdog, and I would use that as a chip on my shoulder. And I mean, I would be real quiet, but at the same time, I wouldn't give anybody a chance. Like if you wanna talk, and I'll prove you wrong real quick, as quick as I had to, and I wouldn't even put it in your face. I'd just be like,
Dismiss them.
yeah, I know you
Yeah.
watching, I know you see it, I know it hurts you, and that was my mentality from youth until like I still hold on to that. I still.
Well, my mentality after that is like it went the left because I wasn't that person who's gonna accept it, but I'm more that person like, oh, you said something mean about me, I'm coming after you,
Oh, you
not
had the
physically,
grudge.
but I'm gonna say some hurtful things so I see that tear, because like that my goal is just to completely like
Yeah,
make you feel like
you get like
garbage.
that sometimes. Yeah, you get like that sometimes.
So that's how I handled it. It wasn't the greatest way, but for me, when I saw that person coming after me because of my nasal issues, and then it's like I said something like completely shut them up, I felt so good afterwards. Like yeah, and it's like I'm not saying that that's how I dealt with. Just know that's how I dealt with school. It's like you come after me, I'm coming after you with something vicious, and I didn't get in fights because I was smart.
But
But
isn't
yeah.
that kind of like? Isn't that kind of like
it
you
was
establishing?
it was a self defense mechanism.
But isn't
Like,
it kind of like you establishing your confidence by bringing somebody else's confidence down? So
well,
does that really
Yeah.
does that really build your confidence?
Here's the thing, right? I'm not saying it's a insecurity thing. That was pretty much it. You're not building your confidence when you attack somebody. You're just you're just trying. It's like they used to say. I was watching this video about how body language speaks a lot. It's those dudes who like guard himself. Supposed to be for self love or something like that. So whenever you're doubting yourself or you see a lot of people doing this, it's because they're trying to self-medicate themselves to deal with that situation. I'm sorry, were you doing that just a while ago? I felt like you were doing this.
Self-medicating.
Yeah, self-medicating. So it's like that move right there is they said it's not really because you're being defensive, it's just so you could comfort your own self. That's what, and they only do that when they're in a crowd. It's not really they do that by themselves because they're comfortable by themselves.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's so whenever I felt like you were attacking me, it's like, and it's not like oh, I'm questioning, like, is he really making fun of me? No, if I felt like it, I was coming for you. And it's like, I will be saying some of the meanest things possible to make you feel like, because I was, it's not like I accepted what they said, but what they said did affect me in a way. And I don't know how to describe it, but I just know that during that time, I was that person. It's like the mother lioness, whenever she gives birth or something like that, don't mess with her cubs. And it's like that's how I felt about myself. It's like,
That
oh,
was kind of like your defense mechanism.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
defense mechanism. It's not because they're planning to hurt me. It's just, oh, you come too close, and I was that person. Now I've
We want to say
reached a point.
good evening to all those who are watching and who have tuned in. We have Stephanie. We have Kimon. Hi, Kimon. Delia. Hey, Delia. Your daughter is here.
daughters.
We have Nola. Hi, Nola. And Asa Brown. How are you doing? And everybody else that is on that I can't see. But it's good to have you on. You're listening to Just a Conversation. Minister Witt, Minister.
I'm on.
Oh my
I'm
God.
on.
I don't know if you're gonna ordain somebody or if you prophesy to somebody.
Minister Hayden, you know, he's on vacation in the cool island of Jamaica.
Bring me some back.
Hey, Ra, you
Bring me
better
some
bring back
David.
some Jamaican with you, right?
Okay.
And
that
you'll
could be taken-
KFC.
You'll be having some barbecue, the best barbecue
Barbecue.
chicken. KFC chicken
Yes,
is in
sir.
Jamaica.
Spicy.
And you'll be singing next week.
That is opinion,
And,
sir. Because I felt like I make the best barbecue. But all
The
right.
best barbecue chicken in Jamaica. KFC chicken I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not talking Matthew's chicken.
Okay. All
Whatever
right.
kid-
We just gotta make sure that you're correct here, because it's like some people can take offense, right?
You see,
Hey.
listen to me.
Hey, I tasted
I'm a very
KFC.
confident person.
There you go.
Okay.
I know who I am.
Okay.
I walk into a room, I know I carry a presence.
Okay.
You know,
Wow, that's
you have to tell
ego
yourself
right
that
there.
ego- no, it's not ego.
No.
No,
You
you're
walk
building your own
somewhere, you must
ego.
know who you are. You must believe in yourself. You know, I remember once I was asked to give a gift to somebody and I never even know what to say.
Right.
Now it's a different story. You know, over the years you grow, you develop. What do you think about you? Do you think you're a very confident
I'm
person?
not gonna lie, I think I'm too confident sometimes.
I can attest to that.
I think I be too confident sometimes.
But that's good, right?
yeah, of course,
Of course,
always
you gotta know.
good.
You can't walk
You know, GOAT means greatest of all time, because that's what I feel like I am.
Greatest
GOAT.
of all
Come on,
time.
yeah.
All right, I love that.
I be telling him that he needs a little bit of balance because
Question.
he has a real alpha male quality to him,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of people see it as a threat. When you're perceived as a threat, then you start seeing people line up for you. They're waiting for the crown.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the
You
king.
know, and I want to go back to David again. That's
Yeah.
why when they say, I don't only look at it as a bear coming at him, I also look at it as a mindset.
Of course.
Because you have to have a balanced mindset.
That's it.
You have to know how to temper things.
Yes.
You know, you have to know when to tone it down.
Exactly.
And you have to know when to bring it up.
Yes,
You
you
know,
do.
but you got to eat. As I said, the lion is a nocturnal animal, but it also hunts in the day. So it has to have an
Balance.
even balance with your mind. Your mind has to be balanced.
That's it.
So even though I know I'm super confident,
Right.
there are times when I take a backseat.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I'll be still.
You have to.
And you'll never know
Yeah.
that I can do whatever I can do.
That's it.
There's skill set that I have that you never know.
Yeah.
You know, I'll walk into a place and I act like I don't even know it. I say, hey, how do you do this? Show me.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
How do you think we can do this? I already know.
Right.
You know. But I want to see how you do it. And I want to work with you because I don't want to come into this place and act like, hey, I'm all there and that. No.
You can't
I
put all
wanna
your cards
work
on the
with
table.
you. You see, I don't put, that's it. I don't put all my cards on, but there's always an ace up my sleeve.
Right. And I always say, Apostle, like you never have to like tell everyone like what you're
Yeah,
about
I don't have to
and
prove
what
who.
you are.
Yeah.
Like, people should be able to like look at you just by the way you speak, the way you act, and just know who you are, and the type of person you are. You don't have to like, I have this, I have that, I'm qualified in this and that.
There
You don't
you
have to be
go.
walking and telling the people, you know, what you are and who you are.
The
like,
person who
yeah.
does that, I think they lack confidence in
Right,
themselves.
right.
Yeah.
So therefore, they have to tell everybody, I've got a PhD, I've got a
Right.
doctorate, I've got this, I've got that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they're allowing that to speak for them. No.
Right.
You must be able to walk into a place, present yourself,
Right.
and then people say, wow, who's this
Right.
person?
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And that's one of the things you're saying is I don't like to really tell a lot of people I'm a minister, but I like to speak. And then when they hear it, they're
Right.
like, wow, they're like that. What are you a teacher? I'm like a Sunday school teacher, and I keep them guessing.
There you go.
Because I don't feel like I need to go in and say I'm this, I'm that.
Right.
Because a lot of people get threatened by that, and they feel that this person thinks they this, and they set up a defense against you now. You know, so when even like on Facebook sometimes, and I'm and people like, oh, minister, I'm like, no, don't let nobody know. You know, because I don't want people to just look at me and say, oh, look, I see him coming a mile away.
Yeah.
And they pretty much know what buttons they gonna press and attack, and I just go a different way than them because I know they going that way. I just and come right around. And
It's just like setting up your resume. I would never put certain things that I've done on it. Because it's not necessary. They don't need to know that.
that's true.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
I
it.
put the basic just in order to get that job.
Right.
There's some people who loaded their resume, and when they go to the interviewer, they say, "Oh, you're too qualified for this position."
Good.
Qualified.
You see what I'm saying?
You're overqualified.
Yes.
Some people won't
Even
even
so, you
read
set
it.
up yourself for like
Yeah,
certain
that's true.
expectations. Where you make it
There you
seem
go.
too high, and when you go in, they're like, okay, so elaborate more on what you have, and you're like,
I learned my lesson very
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
I went for a job once. What was I applying for?
A job.
Whatever the position was. Never called for that.
Wait, that
You
means
know?
that you were desperate. It means that you were in a situation where
It's
you.
not a matter of
re-
desperation. I just overthink it.
right.
Oh, so you
And
want
being
those
who I
people.
am, you know, I say,
Okay.
I have to go. But the job, I didn't have to, you know? And I loaded that resume and I went there and it's like, Lenville, we thank you. And man showed me around the place, everything. And I thought, well,
I got
I
this.
nailed this now, you know? And then he says, no, sorry. And Lenville, I think you're overstated.
Oh,
And I was like,
That's rough.
was that like a career-based job or is it like a job?
career-based job. It was based on
Oh,
what I used to
okay,
do.
okay,
You
okay.
know.
That means it was after.
Later
got
on,
it, I got
you
it.
see, if you're applying for a restaurant manager, it's different from a food and beverage manager position. You know, it's the way how you carry,
It's
how
true.
you present
Right.
yourself.
It's definitely
Yeah.
true.
If you're applying for a supervisor job, it's different from a management job. Yes, the same, you know, supervision and so on, but it's the way how you present and what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And you have to six.
Right.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what is necessary.
That's it.
Right. So how about you, Brian? You think you're a super confident kind of girl?
Well, I think I'm confident now more than I was in the past.
You know, I think you've grown really too.
Yes. Yes. Even through like I was a part of a business organization at college, and
Which was?
the Phi Beta Lambda (PBL). So we're in business organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
So
She's a pie girl.
I remember the first time we went on a leadership we went to a leadership conference, and we went into a room, and like they were like, we're gonna go present ourselves to people, and I'm like, oh my god. Like, what? I went in the room and I was standing in the middle, and I doubted myself at the moment because we were supposed to present to our professors before we went in to talk to the judges, and I was there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk last because I want to be the last speaker because I'm so shy.
Wrong thing.
When we started to talk, like there were three of us on the team, and all three of us spoke. And when we were done, the professor was like, "I have a few comments." I'm like, "Okay, here it goes." And he's like, "Brenna, you should be the first speaker. You're the most confident speaker." And I'm like, "Are you sure?
Wow.
Are you sure? Are you sure?" And then the person who thought they were the most confident speaker, they were like, "You go in the middle. You're not too confident."
Really?
And I'm like, okay. And we went in and we did our presentation. And afterwards, I was like, I need to be more confident within myself because, once you present yourself, if you go in with your head down, they're already ready to just mark you
Yeah.
off. You have to just go
Body
in,
language.
be proud and not too overconfident, but
Yeah.
present
'Cause
yourself.
even that
well.
little thing will make you stand out.
Yeah, because we walked in and we didn't even know 100% of what we were supposed to talk about because we had to present something on the spot. We had 30 minutes to prepare a presentation. And we just went in and we were confident and we actually won the competition.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Congrats. Yeah.
Hey.
So, question to both of you guys. So, I understand it's self-confidence, but what do you do for your friends them that you see that have low self-esteem? It's like you see that they have a lot of potential, but it's like they kind of what's the word? When you're not really, it's like procrastinate.
You know you can't do it, and then since you're their friend, they already automatically, if you got a relationship with them, they gonna think you playing around. They gonna be like, "What? You saying I can't do this?" They gonna start getting happy. They gonna start to smile, and then you can see it in their face, like they starting to believe in themselves. And then like the other ones that you gotta kind of baby a little bit, you gotta be like, "Come on, you know you can do it." Like it depends on the person that you gotta know who you're dealing with. You gotta know who you're dealing with.
I was thinking about that. You have to vet people out, and you have to know the target that you're trying to
You
achieve.
gotta know,
That's
yeah.
like kind of like what Apostle was saying. If you know you're going for a manager job, and you don't just act a certain like you trying to fill a different spot. You got to know exactly and
What
vet
you
what you and you talk to the person. You listen for clues. Even like if you're selling something. You listen for what the person needs, what kind of person the buyer is.
good at
It's
that.
little small intangible things that you might not have the information in front of you, but you picking up clues along the way. And then
certain
when you
things you gotta
find those
pick up
clues,
on.
then you start to target them, and it makes you successful.
I'm looking at you different tonight.
He was always
Because
quiet,
I
right?
always thought you were a very quiet,
Oh.
very introverted.
No, I never thought they were
I thought you were
introverted.
an
I just thought
introverted
they
kind
were
of person
quiet.
but I'm listening to you, and what I'm hearing is leadership quality.
Yeah.
You know, you are a leader. I mean, I'm like, I thought I had all this perception and all that stuff, but man, you're proving me wrong tonight. Just listening, you know,
He just
you
proved me
know what you
right.
want, you go for it, and there you, yeah, you're not easily twisted
No, not at all.
or swayed.
I thought exact different. I just thought he was just analyzing people
Oh,
He
you
does
thought
that
it was an
too.
analytical
Yeah,
time.
he does that too.
I do that a lot.
He does that too.
because I know myself, and it's like I just saw that him and his brothers, they're not quiet, far from it, but it's like they're more. If they're not used to a certain area, they just analyze.
Yeah.
So
See
it's
what's
like-
going on. See how you can act around the people.
Because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I base it off the younger and how they act, and then the older you could. All right, they're more matured version. So I'm like, all right, the youngest
I like
child
that.
is not
This is
quiet.
like,
So,
you know,
so I'm like,
analyze to see how I must act around these people.
Oh yeah,
So I'm going to give you what you
that's it.
Yeah.
are looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But that's that's deep perception.
He's a multitasker. Like when he was small,
Yeah.
I mean, like a toddler, he would look at TV, and if the adults were in the background on the sofa talking, he would know exactly what they're talking about and know exactly what's going on in the TV at the same time. Even to
I
this
remember
day,
some moments, I'm not gonna lie.
even to this day, he has like 2 jobs. He graduated from high school. He was
Yeah.
doing his community service. He has a bag and a handle on so many different things.
Wow.
It's like I don't know how
Not
he.
many people can do that.
you're a proud father, man. I respect that. I respect that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Matthew, you can't take a
yeah, don't worry about me too much. It's like, just know that I'm getting where I need to be. It's just a little slower.
Matthew's your birth now. Where you going after tonight?
After tonight,
Yeah. Where you going? Gonna have ice cream?
I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I don't really plan on doing anything for my birthday. It's like day after, I might do something, but nah, I just give it.
Go to
I like
sleep,
doing
man.
stuff randomly. It's like last year I worked. The year before I did something. Like year before that I did something, and then I don't like doing the same thing. So today I just felt like just doing some housework and
Chill, dude.
just chill.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, it's like I don't like being like boxed in like yeah, because I don't like parties, but at the same time,
Yeah,
I
you
might
don't
go.
party.
Right.
You know that. Yeah.
what that's supposed to
You have
mean
two
though?
left, you have
It's
two left
like
foot. You don't.
because I
Drink
can't
some water,
dance
Matthew.
does not mean that I don't like being around positive people.
Say this again.
Yeah, so it's like, I was
How do you
saying,
do that? How do
yeah.
you manage your kitty? I mean, with 2 jobs, school, and I know you help mama a lot. You know.
Yeah.
So how do you cope with all of that?
I don't know how much times I said it today, but that's the mindset. Like, I just,
You got to keep saying it. That people out there
Yeah.
can hear. You know,
Like-
it's not for me.
Proud father.
He do a lot more than I ever did. Like, I mean, I always challenge him and I always push him. Like I was like, man, when I was your age, I was doing this, I was doing that, and then I build him up like that. I really set the bar high, and he's looking like, I could do that and more. And he doesn't even know I'm baiting him. I'm baiting him all
You know what he
day.
just did? The same thing that you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, not talking down about. I know they have their other qualities and they good qualities, but he's like,
the GOAT.
He's a goat.
Oh.
What's the
Wow.
acronym again?
The greatest
Conceited.
of all time.
Greatest
GOAT.
of all time.
Nah, you see, that's
Somebody
different.
type that in.
That's
Greatest of all time.
different.
All I hear is conceited.
Nah.
What? It's like greatest of all, man. It's like you building yourself up to fall. I don't like saying that. It's like I'm just saying I'm great, but I ain't gonna say the greatest of all time. Now it's like
nah,
like for instance, I always tell people, regardless of where I am, I'm a blessing. It's like it doesn't mean
That's
that
how I feel.
it's like
me
whenever
tell
I
you-
step in a place, I will bless this spot.
Let me tell you one thing about this kid is so humble. Like it doesn't matter what his accomplishments are, he'll talk to anybody. He'll get to know anybody. He'll sit there and give them time, and he'll sit there and really converse. One time he called me up and he was like, "What's the address to the church?" And I'm like, "What you need an address for the church for?" He's like, "I'm inviting somebody. He's telling me about their problems. I'm giving them a church to go to." And I'm like, "What?" He's just unturning like
Yo.
pages in the book, and I'm sitting here like, "Okay,
You different now.
I'm just pondering it.
Different.
I'm just pondering it."
Nah, you ain't different, but it's like you different that cause I ain't did that. Well, I think I did it once and then it's like it didn't turn out. But it's like that's I give you mad credit for that. It's like just talking to random people. Like
I wasn't inviting nobody to church when I was his age, especially somebody older. Maybe my peers, but not. I think the person
random.
was older.
Yeah,
It was an older person that needed some help, and
Well, you see, at that stage of your life, you have to look at where you're at, where
Yeah.
your parents at, and all of that. You know,
that definitely.
he is seeing a different you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's a different environment.
Yeah.
So that create this at
Yeah.
this time. You know, your environment had also allowed him to become more who he is today.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't for that, you never know what would have been happening.
Yeah, because he does mingle the old with the new.
Yeah,
Because
the
I
mix-
know he
the
does.
mix
Yeah.
really help, for real. The mix
Right.
really help.
Because I could see a lot of what I in him too.
Of course.
It help you cater to what you need at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have that diverse.
You have
Bro,
to.
this is the most I hear him talk, bro. It's like you just don't
I
understand
love
right
this guy.
now.
I mean,
It's like
you know, he's doing.
I
I'm
actually
like, wow.
memorized your name because of how much you talking right now. It's like after a while I will memorize your name, but it's like
Come on, you don't get it.
I didn't say I didn't know him because I don't forget faces, but it's like names. That's another story.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm bad with names too. Not gonna lie.
It's like I will never forget your story. You tell me it, I will memorize it. But you tell me your name, it's like
It'll
I'm
work
a
on
cut.
that.
Well, yeah.
Because when you memorize name, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
Well,
I remember when I was in the hotel business, we had to memorize the name of the guests. So when they return, as they come to the door, Mr. So nice to see you.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that kind of thing. I was in Canada, coming in through the airport, and there was this gentleman coming towards me, a pilot, you know. And when I looked at him, I said, wow. And I said, hey, Mr. So-and-so, whatever his name was at the time. I remember it now, you know.
Oh yeah.
But he looked at me and he says, I said, remember Shopart Beach? The hotel that
Well,
used to be at, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he says, how did you recognize me?
Right.
How did you, I mean, out of a million people,
Mm-hmm.
you know? I said, well, I don't forget faces nor names, you know?
Yeah.
And we chatted a little bit, and then he left because, you know, he had to go do what he had to. But he was a pilot. At the time, I didn't even know he was a pilot
Yeah.
when he came on vacation.
That builds
You know?
loyalty.
But that's-
It'll have
So
them come back.
when you memorize folks' name, it means that, wow,
You take the time.
yes,
Right.
you know, it means something.
And you never know what opportunities
You
might
just
get.
never know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
build
for
that
those-
confidence.
here's the thing. For those whose name I've forgotten, I don't forget your story. All right? You tell me your story. You tell me your upbringing. I will memorize that. I'll even memorize your face. I will say, hey, how you doing? How's the kids? Because I know all that.
Right.
But ask me what your kids' names or your own personal name. I will call you something completely different.
He's
Okay.
done it before. Trust
I've
me.
done it on this show last week.
Last week.
I remember your story. I remember your
What was her
upbringing.
name? What was her name from last week? Who was the guest last week?
Her name is Tally. You see,
Tally? Yeah,
it
that's
took me
good.
a while to
That's
remember
good.
it. But it's like,
Congratulations.
I remember
Good
your
job,
story,
good
and then it's
job.
like I build upon that. There it is. And then
Definitely.
it's like before that is Inez.
Yeah.
Then
okay.
before that is like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Man, you
We went
doing
too far.
good.
We
What
went
you
too
had some
far.
omega-3?
Hey, I had that prior on me like last
She's
week.
taking men's one a day, I guess.
Nah, I don't need all that. Guess what? I had that healing last Sunday.
Oh, that was, yeah.
And then it's
yeah.
like I told you,
Wow.
memory.
Yeah.
Like God bless
You
my
did
memory.
say that. Yeah.
And then it's
you
like
did.
now I'm
Wow.
like,
No,
Yeah.
talk about confidence.
yeah.
That gentleman was 93 years old.
Oh, man.
93.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a military guy, you know. What did he used to do again?
Military.
Yeah, but it's investigation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Criminal investigation.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Right.
he said. You're right.
And so on. Look at what he does. He has confidence in himself,
Oh, yeah.
and he has confidence in his God.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And he says, in the name of Jesus. That's what the scripture says, in the name of Jesus. And it's done. And I'm telling you, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it's now 10 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Oh wow, is that wow?
Yeah.
Flying.
And
Well, just so you know, it's just a conversation.
Anyway,
It's just a conversation.
it's just a conversation.
And
Hashtag
it was a wonderful conversation.
about it.
Right.
I thank you, KDN, your last name, and then it's like, and
KD.
then
KD.
KD, we'll just take
just
KD.
just know it's like, KDN.
Yeah.
I ain't gotta call him KD because he knows himself, right? KDN, right? That's
Davian.
what I said.
You said
Kadian.
Kadian. That's our lady's name.
I felt like I said it right though.
All right, Matthew.
But anywho, Brianna is like wonderful.
Good try.
And then it's like we have Minister
I
Amon
be
right
forgetting
here.
sometimes.
And then it's, you know your name, so it's like that's the most important thing. Then we have